It's a dark episode for November the 10th, 2023. I worked with a new fellow today who is from India. And, I should probably start off this conversation by saying he's given us one name to say because basically he knows we're all white Canadians or, approximations of, and there's no way fucking in hell that we'd ever say his name. He said his name out loud and I was like, yeah, thank you. I would just butcher it and you don't want that. Um, so it's just one of those interesting things of, being exposed to somebody of a different culture and to be honest, having a visceral reaction because their values aren't your values, which isn't to say he is a completely cool guy and all that stuff. But, in one conversation, it was basically, he said, like, oh, he had just met his wife because he's having an arranged marriage. So it was like, okay, that is, and that in itself is like, just like, okay, that I understand is a way that, people got married for a long, long time, far longer than, romantic couplings and stuff like that. And you know, we've got that kind of that thing of like individual kind of choice being the way of things now. But for a long time, having older people kind of assess you and maybe say, okay, we think this person is going to be good. Maybe a matchmaker is involved. That might actually be more sensible. You know, not romantic, not really what I would think I would want, but you know, it, considering what the failure rate is of romantic love, I can see that a arranged marriage where it's more the family who's deciding, or matchmakers, or stuff like that, outside parties, might have it might be similarly fucked up, might have its own failure rates, but it might also have its similar successes to it in that. And you just end up making things work. Sometimes I think even romantic love, it's like, well, the romance goes ebbs quite a bit, but you still, as someone who's been married for 30 years, you make it work. I mean, I actually still feel a lot of romantic love for my ja, so I don't know if I'm the best case example there. I am complete sop. Um, so there's that. But it was today of the just kind of the chilling thing of they were going to a gender reveal party, and he says, like, it's like, oh, it's thinking, it's like, well, that's something that, like, I think of, like, it's like later generations now of people in Canada do that, but like, when I grew up, and like young couples weren't doing gender reveal parties because, like, I'm in my 50s, so like 20 years ago it wasn't a thing. And he says, like, yeah, well, it's definitely a very new thing now in my culture in like southern India. But he says, and it's a thing very much. Gender reveals are a big thing in India, especially in kind of countryside, because if it's a female that gets revealed, it's aborted. And it was like, oh, that to me felt really chilling. And it's like, I said to him, it's like, don't know if that's great. You're just going to end up with a lot of lonely boys. And, we just left it at that. And that's obviously me coming from my culture. And, that's one of those ones I just think, no, I just think that's fucked up. I just think that's really fucked up. Um, and, yeah, yeah, I can't let go of that. That is me, limited, uh, white, fairly, you know, sheltered, doesn't know. I know some things of the world, but haven't not that much of the world. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool to have those kind of conversations and to kind of have that kind of highlighted. I think about that at the moment, having been reading um, Mary Kingsley's Travels in West Africa at the moment. Just fucking how racist she is, very casually throughout the book. You know, it's like any you read anything older, and anytime you've got, like, white narrator or white author or anything like that, and anything like African comes up, and you go, oh god, it's about to get racist. And yeah, It totally does. And I don't think I'm being racist by saying that I think it's fucked up that female babies are getting fetuses are getting aborted when they're found out in India. Um, I just think that's a really sad thing, and you're losing a lot of potential, and you know, radically skewing your population base to male and not female, which is like that's not good. That kind of catches up with you. Kind of becomes unintentional birth control because there's no women around to have those babies, um, which is also not great. But yeah, yeah, interesting, interesting stuff. I will leave it there on that probably not very deep pondering. Ciao.